everybody, it's Emily from D.I.Y, and today it's kind of not really much of a DIY video. It's actually more like I did a DIY a while ago and I just sort of want to share it with you guys. If you want to purchase it, you can. If not, that's okay too. I just figured I'd talk a little bit about making board games. So you guys don't know me at all. You probably don't know that I have made a board game in the past, and like I like board games. I have like a few board games obviously here and there. There's like an Archie one above. I don't know if you can see that. That's actually an Archie comic board game. I've got quite a few other board games. They're kind of like in another room somewhere. I really do like board games, and with COVID times it's been really difficult to go play board games. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my game in case you guys really like board games yourself and are really interested in this sort of thing. So it's kind of a cool game because it's actually a game where you could be competitive or cooperative, or you can even play it by yourself, which is unheard of with most games, I think, because it's a pretty simple game. I made the actual real game, one that you could purchase online. I made it like, I think in 2013, so it was quite a while ago. For those of you who don't know, I was really into comics. I used to make my own comics and draw them and write them and all that sort of stuff. I used to have comic books, and I also made like web comics at one point just for fun, and a few people sort of liked it. I was doing conventions and things like that. But anyways, because I was so into comics, I basically made a board game. So I actually had old roommates. This was like years ago. Oh god, it was like back in 2008 or something like that, I think. We're going way back here. Yeah, back in 2008, I think I lived with a few people. So I used to live with a bunch of guys and my brother and his girlfriend at the time, now wife. And yeah, we all sort of got together and would bring cool board games that we've never heard of. Not the classic board games, but like cool different board games that a lot of us had never heard of. We'd have like a board game night and we'd sort of teach each other how to play these games and just sort of had fun playing unique board games. So that was kind of like our thing. And then I just really liked doing that. It was really fun. So I started making my own board game because I just thought it'd be really fun. So because I was super into comics, this is going to be really bad, guys. This is the prototype for this game, okay? I just took like a little shoebox and I made this horrible cover. I don't even remember if this was in Paint or like Photoshop or what this was, but I basically made a thing called Comix The Board Game. And let's open this up because I haven't actually looked at this in like a long time. This is gonna be weird, I think. Oh, this is where all those comics went. So this is like people's comics that we made. I was like playtesting the game for a long time before I actually made the real version. Made a really bad dice, I guess. But you could do stuff like this if you want to. If you're just doing like a prototype for a game, like you could just, this is like really taped up and stuff, but it's really funny looking back at a lot of the stuff that I used to do. And I guess I just had cards like this that I sort of printed up and just would cut things out by hand. Oh wow. These are the original pieces. I'll show you the real deal soon. Those are the original pieces, or some of the original pieces. They pretty much look like the real deal now. And I think this was, yeah, I just printed this up, I guess, on some cardstock. But this was the original template for the board game itself. I definitely changed it, I think, quite a bit. I mean, it looks similar colors and things like that. I would actually change it a lot more now if I was going to design this sort of thing now, which I probably don't have time to do. Yeah, so that's funny looking back at that. But yeah, so basically if you have like a board game idea, you don't have to be too fancy about it when you're just starting out and just playing around. You can just print off, basically you don't even have to like print things off. You can just make things on Bristol board or something like that. If you want to do an actual board for your board game by hand, yeah, just go to town with that. If you have like a really fun idea, just sort of map it out. I did it on the computer, but yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's really your call. But anyways, so that was the old game. And this is the new version. This is what happened when I basically sat down and made it more professional looking. Again, I did this back in 2013. This is before I even knew how to use Illustrator properly. I was doing a lot of Photoshop stuff. So this is all traditional stuff that I scanned it in, transferred it over to Photoshop, and just colored it in Photoshop and that sort of thing. So that's Comix The Board Game that I made. I also made a card game version, which I don't actually have to show you guys, but that's also on the website. Probably gonna link it down below in case you guys are interested in any of this stuff. Yeah, so that's basically that. Yeah, so I made, this is kind of like, these are the instructions of the different ways you can play it. This is a little bit intimidating, and I know that because I've got a lot of complaints from people, but I also think this is a really, really cool. You can sort of use this as like a screen so you can draw or write something in sort of secret or private. I think a lot of people would use this sort of thing more for maybe doing D&D or something like that, but I also sort of did like little tutorials and things like that. I drew out stuff by hand here. Yeah, just like talked about panels and things like that. Just for people who are not hugely into comics like I am, but anyways, I just did that sort of thing just for fun. But anyways, there is a quick rules thing that I did add to this in case you didn't want to read all that. But yeah, there's lots of different rules that you can play in case you do buy this game. There's a few different ways of playing this game. You can play with even and odd numbers of people. So I'm not really gonna go into how to play it, I think, in this video, but in case you're interested, I might do another video based on how to play. Yeah. So there's just like a quick play instruction booklet. I tried to make it as easy to understand as possible. Not included in this game are a bunch of pencils, but I threw some pencils in here, just bought some random pencils and threw them in there so you can easily play with some pencils just to sketch things out or write things out. There is a die that is included, and then there's also these dies on top of that you can basically make. Yeah, so I've got some professionally made cards. I have some little stands for, these are the little, there's a bunch of different men, and there's some blank ones so you can actually make your own. I think that's kind of like the fun part about the game. You can always make your own little character because you're a comic artist or a comic writer depending on what you choose to be. So you can be like both, or you can be one or the other. It depends on how you play, if you're playing by yourself or if you're playing with other people. It really depends. So, and then this is the board that I did. So you can put all the different cards here depending on what you fall on. Everything's color coordinated here, and you have to pick up these certain cards on your turns. But yeah, so basically this is like the board game. It's pretty solid. Feels like a little bit lighter than a normal board game, I guess, but it's still pretty strong. So I made that from, if you ever heard of the site, The Game Crafter, I made that through them. I think they're based in the States. So I made that on the internet over there. There is a little online store that you can visit, and again, I'm going to link that down below. So you can get either the full-on game, or you can get the cards if you just want some prompts. There's like a few different versions. There's like a starter game, and then there's some expansion packs. There's one expansion pack that can be used with this complete game if you really wanted to, but it's mostly just blank cards. Say, you know, you play the game a bunch of times, you're really sick of the prompt choices that you get, and you want to make your own and put your own words in there. I think that's kind of the fun part about my game. You can sort of DIY the game a little bit and customize it to suit you and your personality a little bit, so that's kind of fun. So there is a DIY aspect. Back then I thought about that sort of thing, I guess. So yeah, that's just like a really, really quick introduction to this game. I think it's like I would say for 12 and up. If the kid's really into comics, they could probably do it at a younger age, most likely. It can get a little bit complicated because you have to draw really, really quickly, kind of like Pictionary, I guess. It's a lot of fun. It sort of simulates being a comic artist or writer in the business, trying to get stuff out there before a deadline or before the time runs out. I think a lot of people tend to really like this game whenever I play it with my friends, and I played it with quite a few of my friends because I tested this a lot. Yeah, people seem to really, really like it. Like, there's a lot of laughs happening. It's just like a lot of art games where there's like moments of silence here and there because everyone's drawing or writing or whatever they're doing, and then when we all share our stuff in the end, we all tend to crack up and laugh and stuff. It's a little bit, I kind of made it before I saw the game. Oh, what's it called? I'm gonna like put the name up above because I can't think of it right now, but yeah, it was before that game. I want to say before it came out I made this game, but it's before I even noticed this game or even heard about this game. I'm sure that game was around, probably around the time that I was putting this out. I don't know. I just didn't know about it, but it's very similar to that game in a sense, but it's just got more of a comic element to it. And again, you can play it as a board game or you can play it as a card game. You can also, if you don't want to use like a pencil and paper or like pen and paper or anything like that, you can also use a whiteboard or chalkboard. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of like a look back at just me making this game. If you ever have a game that you ever want to sort of make, you can go for it. You don't have to make like like a board game, you can make a card game. You can also make, for a while anyways, there was a trend of little tile games and stuff like that. So you can always make fun tile games if you want your game to sort of shift around a little bit. I love games like that too. I think they're really, really fun. I'm a huge fan of those games that are more cooperative. I don't know about you guys, but I really love cooperative games. Let me know down below what kind of games you're sort of into, and I'm always interested in hearing that sort of thing. Yeah, anyways, this is just like a really quick video just to sort of show you guys what I did to make this game. I really, really hope you guys like this fun video. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you're into board games and you even want to make your own board game someday. If you want me to go into more depth about how I made the game, I don't know if I can remember that far back, but I'll see if I can do that. Maybe ask some questions down below in the comments. Also, if you really, really want to hear about the actual gameplay of the game, I might do, again, a video about that and maybe show it or at least tell you guys about it. If you are also interested in the Game Crafter, I'm going to try to link their site down below. They're always putting out really, really cool stuff. If you're into like D&D, or if you have a classic game but you have some missing pieces or something, they have lots of cool different pieces and stuff that they have in their store. They're also always coming up with really, really cool new ways of packaging, and I think they've got like a 3D printer and stuff like that so you can make your own personal, I want to say men, but you know what I mean, pieces that you can move around. I think that's really, really cool that they have that capability now, because they didn't have that back in the day when I was first making this game. Anyways, it is a bit of a DIY, but it's not much of one that, like, I'm not going to show you how I made it because I made it forever ago. So, but I thought I'd bring it out and talk about it because I've done DIY for quite a while, as you know, and just wanted to show you guys some of the fun stuff that I have DIY'd in the past. But anyways, guys, if you're interested in that, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, give me a share. And yeah, I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I think that's pretty much it for now. So take care, have a good one. Bye! Have fun DIYing!